Okay, I have 10 o'clock. I will call the Commissioners' meeting of June 21st, 2023 to order. Welcome back again, Veteran Don Bradley, who's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and our County Engineer, John Kleindetz, who will lead us in invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you join me in an attitude of prayer, please? Lord, we just pledged allegiance to the flag of our country, and we prepare to celebrate the country's independence very soon. We thank you for the gift of self-governance that you give us. It's a precious gift. Please guide us to govern the fairest for the most while protecting the minority. We hope that the actions today find favor with you. We thank you for our leaders, both those here with us today and at all levels of government, and ask that you watch over them as they lead the county and the country. We thank you for those not elected, but who are also leaders, those who sacrifice and serve our community and our nation in every capacity. And we especially thank those in harm's way, from police to fire to ambulance to military, who protect us and serve us. We ask that you bless and guide and protect all of these folks as they serve the people of your county and the United States of America. All of these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 7th, 2023 Board of Commissioners meeting as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I will open up for any public comment. Okay, on to the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as listed below for the Office of Children, Youth, and Families.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and back again, Mr. Dahl.
Good morning. I'm
morning.
paying attention this time. Routine items for the consent agenda, some money for new adoptive families, as well as some adjustments to our current families. One thing to make mention of is number 5. It's an agreement between Children, Youth, and Families and Jennifer Caffatini for financial assistance. She is a chief fiscal officer for another county, and she is assisting us with our CYF budget. She is a great help, I know, to Tanya, our administrator for CYF. So I haven't had a chance to meet her yet, but she has really been taking a lot of time to educate and train our staff. So thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Claire? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. On to new business.
I make a motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and Global Data Consultants, LLC, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, for 12 Lenovo P360 computers for a total cost of $28,909.20, purchased under a grant at no cost to the county.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a grant agreement between the County of York on behalf of the Sheriff's Office and Explore York, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $20,000 for the 2024 Pennsylvania Sheriff's Association Conference for the period of July 8th, 2024 to July 13th, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a pass-through contracts between the County of York on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and Carroll Township Police Department, Fairview Township Police Department, West York Borough Police Department, and the City Police Department to implement cross-jurisdictional solutions designed to increase competencies and capacity for effective investigation and prosecution of gun violence and trafficking offenses for a total cost of $538,380 paid from grant funds.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Make a motion to approve a contract amendment between the County of York on behalf of the Assessment Office and Palmetto Posting, Spartansburg, South Carolina, increasing the cost from $25 to $27.50 per posting for tax sales.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve tax forgiveness on behalf of the Assessment Office for 2022, 2023 county taxes in the amount of $533.38 for Hopewell Presbyterian Church. They have been granted exemption beginning January 1st, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve an addendum to a voluntary agreement between the County of York on behalf of the Assessment Office and Lutheran Social Services for payment in lieu of taxes on 2 properties in Manchester Township. This is an extension on the agreement that was initiated in 2001.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve tax forgiveness on behalf of the Assessment Office for 2021, 2022, and 2023 county taxes in the amount of $7,079.30 for Archangel Michael and St. Caris Egyptian Coptic Church that has been granted exemption from January 1st, 2024. All fees related to the collection of taxes will be due.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and Modern Group Power Systems, Bristol, Pennsylvania, to service 5 prison generators for a cost of $7,000 for the period of October 1st, 2023 to October 1st, 2026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and Yesco Security, Ephrata, Pennsylvania, to upgrade 45 hard drives for the camera video retention system for a total cost of $19,099.
I think that should be 48 hard drives.
Okay, 48 hard drives.
I'll second.
Thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and Walton and Company, York, Pennsylvania, to manufacture and install a new shower gate in the female housing unit for a total cost of $12,483.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and G.R. Spinagle, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to replace the refrigeration unit for a total cost of $133,944.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve a contract entitled Agreement for Payment of Hazmat Costs between the County of York on behalf of the Treasurer's Office and J&A RE LLC and Jason E. Fry and Alicia M. Fry, establishing a plan for the repayment of $7,702 in fees associated with the deployment of the York County Hazmat Team and their containment of hazardous materials released during a fair at the Fry's business premises, and waiving $1,155.30 in administrative fees.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the declaration of restrictions and covenants for the county complex development located in Springersbury Township to ensure the long-term operation and maintenance of the post-construction stormwater management, BMPs, on the property. There is no cost associated with the agreement other than the routine maintenance costs for the BMPs after completion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I'll explain a little bit about the background on this motion and 14, but I asked John to come up just in case he needs to fill in where I might leave the gaps. So typically, the Conservation District is the one that handles post-construction stormwater management plans, but because these two motions involve properties that are owned by the county, that cannot be done through the Conservation District because of a potential conflict of interest. So the department, the DEP, took the lead in processing and issuing what's called a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System Permit, NPDES. And part of that permitting process requires us to have a declaration of restriction and covenants. And so this is really done to ensure that future landowners, should the county sell those properties, that they're made aware of their obligations to operate and maintain the post-construction stormwater management best practice systems located on the property.
I have nothing to add. You did a great job.
Okay, all right.
But John, I think the public has to know where we're talking about.
Sure.
This is the facility out where the nursing home was and the annex, and then the cost and the subdivision, just so they understand completely what
Correct.
we've done.
This is basically the sidewalk project from the former nursing home to the prison. And the second project on 14 is Rocky Ridge Trail Extension. And essentially, I would defer to the solicitor's office on the details of the legal language. They're boilerplate agreements, but it's basically meant to guarantee that the stormwater management facilities that were built as part of the project are maintained.
Right.
That's really the end result.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure folks were aware why this wasn't run through the Conservation District.
Right.
Sure.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve the declaration of restrictions and covenants to provide an access trail at Rocky Ridge Park located in Springersbury Township to ensure the long-term operation and maintenance of the post-construction stormwater management BMPs on the property. There is no cost associated with the agreement other than the routine maintenance costs of the BMPs after completion.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Information Technology Services and CDW-G Chicago, Illinois for various Microsoft software licensing from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024 for a total cost of $679,847.55.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve and execute cooperation agreements between the County of York and the Redevelopment Authority, the County of York for Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program grants for the following projects as listed below in the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. For folks watching and out there in the audience today, these are all projects that have already been approved at the state. So these are already approved and funded. This is allowing those folks to, the grant money to flow through the county. So again, these have already all been approved up at the state level. So this is paperwork that just needs to be filed in order to execute those agreements. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the Human Resources Department and Murray, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to provide broker services, claims administration, and insurance coverage for public entity employment-related practices, liability, law enforcement liability, general liability, automobile liability, and property protection claims for a total cost of $1,524,584 for the period of June 30th, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve the tax refund register 2023-11, authorizing payment of York County real estate tax refunds totaling $9,001.33.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve the weekly disbursements for the week of June 14th, 2023, totaling $12,359,939.49.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the weekly disbursements for the week June 21st, 2023, totaling $3,394,211.25.
I'll second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the following appointments of Gregory Monsky and David Garabedian to the Blighted Property Review Committee, effective June 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2026.
I'll second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the following appointments of Cheryl Rain and Kim Brister to the York County Industrial Development Authority, effective July 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2026.
I'll second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
For this-
Go ahead.
For this resolution, for number one, I would like to make a motion that we table this resolution for further review.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second to table the resolution. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of tabling signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion is tabled. There were no executive sessions since our last meeting. I did want to mention under other business, I wanted to acknowledge our Controller's Office. They have received a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the County of York by the Government Finance Officers Association. I believe this is one of many multiple years that the Controller's Office has
Yes.
received this accomplishment. So I think that it's really important to acknowledge Greg and his office and his work, and also the fiscal responsibility that they've ensued in that office there. So congratulations to Greg and your team. Any other business? I will open up for any public comment. If you could state your name and municipality and keep your remarks to 3 minutes or less.
My name is Erin Stevens, and I live in Jackson Township. My name is Erin Stevens, and I've been a case manager with the Area Agency on Aging for almost 10 years. We travel to every corner of York County, sometimes within the same day, to visit our consumers in their houses, apartments, skilled nursing facilities, and hospitals. We see people during their most vulnerable times, often when they're desperate and begging for help. Because of that, we are yelled at, distrusted, threatened, and called horrible things. But we're also offered tea and cookies, given hugs from family members, and lovingly licked by their pets. We see families in heartbreak and tears for what's already happened and the uncertainty of what's to come. Regardless of how we're treated in the moment, we recognize we're one of the few connections that they have to an opaque system that can leave them confused, scared, and without answers. To do our jobs well, we see people covered in urine and feces, open wounds, and pressure sores from an inability to care for themselves. We go from situations where there are infestations of mice and bedbugs, respiratory illnesses, and homes that are structurally unsafe. We travel to the most remote sections of the county, as well as those with high levels of crime, putting ourselves in unknown situations in unfamiliar areas with complete strangers. We do it when it's 100 degrees outside, and we do it when there's snow on the ground. And despite what could be considered hazardous conditions, we treat these people with respect, care, and kindness we'd hope everyone would show them. Because not only is it our job, but because these are our parents, family members, and friends, maybe not literally every time, but the journey many of us and our loved ones will eventually take. Our jobs require extensive and varied skill sets and an unmatched dedication to perform it well every single time. It can take a year or more just to understand the role, with all its different moving parts, and eventually become comfortable with what's expected of you. This is simply not a job anyone can do, and it's certainly not a job many would be clamoring to do given what we hear, see, and have to handle on a regular basis. With this being such critical work to our loved ones and communities, we shouldn't have employees relying on social aid and low-income programs. Many of my colleagues would be better paid and offered more benefits at gas stations and convenience stores. Unfortunately, it appears our commissioners don't agree with these facts and fail to recognize our hard work and the role we play in getting our elderly and infirm the care they need.
30 seconds left.
We and our union have been in contract negotiations for more than a year to address our needs and concerns, but the last best and final offer we received has left many of us feeling unwanted, undervalued, unseen, and unappreciated. Removing or reducing critical benefits and failing to match pay increases to even standard inflation doesn't incentivize us to stay. And perhaps even worse for our communities, it should signal to everyone that our commissioners aren't as dedicated to the work as we are. Thank you.
Thanks. Any additional public comment?
My name is Destiny Michael. I'm
Can
from,
you speak
I
a little-
apologize. My name is Destiny Michael. I am from Hellam Township. I would like to start by saying thank you for hearing me speak today. I am here as the Chief Union Steward to speak on behalf of the membership at Children and Youth, where I've been employed coming up on 4 years. I've been a county caseworker for almost 9 now, for different counties in the Commonwealth. I'd like to start by sharing some information with you pertaining to the work that is done by caseworkers for this agency. There's a saying about caseworkers, or really social workers in general, that we go into homes with a notepad and pen that law enforcement enter with bulletproof gear and firearms. That saying doesn't begin to capture the things that are seen by some of our staff here in York County. Workers are exposed to bedbugs, lice, various illnesses, all things that can be taken home to their own families. Some workers have been held at gunpoint while working in this position. Some have had to run out of homes while dialing 911 out of genuine fear for their safety. We have workers who have walked onto the active scene of an overdose and have watched people die while doing this job. In conjunction with these risks, our agency in particular is faced with an incredibly high volume of referrals in the Commonwealth. In 2021, our agency received 1,761 Child Protective Service referrals and 7,224 General Protective Service referrals. For CPS referrals specifically, we received the highest volume of referrals compared to all of our neighboring counties in 2021. The next highest volume in a county in Pennsylvania in that year was Allegheny County, where the major city of Pittsburgh is located. We've been in contract negotiations for a year now. We're here today to advocate for our membership, and I say some of these harsh things not to be off-putting, but the reality is that these are the risks that caseworkers face on a daily basis while we protect some of our community's most vulnerable population. We would like to feel valued and appreciated by the county for the work that we do, and we would like to be adequately compensated for that work as well. Increasing inflation has put hardship on a lot of our members and a lot of our staff, and we'd like to see that reflected in a fair contract as we continue negotiations. Thank you for your time.
Any other comments? Okay. If I could have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. And we will move on to Salary Board.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 7th, 2023 Salary Board meeting as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I will open it up for any public comment. And if can move on to the next motion.
I make a motion to approve the positions, salaries, hours of work, and fringe benefits as provided by existing collective bargaining agreements or as set forth in the York County Employee Handbook or York County Policy Manual for the following departments and row offices as stated below, with no additional benefits or concessions unless otherwise noted, and those listed in the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. An executive session of the Salary Board was held on June 12th for the purpose of discussing general personnel matters to include discussions on salary modification, job description reviews, and reclassification reviews related to the Treasurer's Office, the Conservation District, the Facilities Department, and Children, Youth, and Families. The Salary Board discussed and received information and advice regarding such matters. The Salary Board did not adopt any policy, procedure, or take any formal action on such matters. Any items upon which action had been requested would be included as a motion on the agenda. I will once again open it up for public comment. Hearing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we are adjourned, and on to retirement board.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting held on June 7th, 2023, as submitted.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I will open it up for any public comment. I will move on to new business.
I make a motion to include the following vested individual on the monthly annuity payment list as listed below: Joanne Messinger, CYF.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Make a motion to include the following individuals on the monthly annuity payment list as listed below: Michael S. Axe, prison; William T. Lytle, prison; David J. Mosh, District Attorney; Edward J. McCoy III, 911; Jeffrey S. Snell, District Attorney.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There were no executive sessions since our last meeting. I will open it up once again for any public comment. Hearing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the great day.
No, she goes through.